a Midlothian mom who pronounced breast milk for her infant for a 268 me racing on the Pennine Way has break the year recording by more than rather than 12 several hours. Jasmin Paris, 35, finished the Mountainous Spinal Racing, of Derby to the Scotch national borders, in 83 several hours, 12 protocol and 23 seconds. The veterinarian, who lives at Gladhouse Water Reservoir, told the racing was cruel. Mrs. Paris' sponsorship, Innov 8, told her accomplishment was of the big stories in the kind of sports. Competitive environment expend couple thirds of the racing in the black and conduct all their own kit and supplies. They as well include no private supporting crew or begun in them on the year. She told, I had mind I would include stop chest feed by the spot and tested while Ash was but above Yuletide she got 2 viruses and I had to go behind to feed her repeated times through the overnight to calm her. Though my breast milk manufacture reduced through the racing, I did courier at 4 persons out of the 5 checkpoints. This at first overnight was the tough for me mental since I was off of my child, but as the racing went on it got facilitating as I got utilized to creature off of her. She was really stunned to see me on the complete link and has been really sticky present as if she is thought I might go off once again. Mrs. Paris achieved the complete link in Picyethome on Environment Night possessing begun in Edale in the Derby Spike area on Saturday. She told how compared in some competitive environment, she had got off easily in fair a few blisters though her toenails were really ulcer and dark and she afraid she would miss at low her big toenails. She told, I was concerned at the begin of the racing while I heard some runners proverb they had glued their feet up as I hadn't, but once I've not very had any problems in my feet separately of loser the leather among my tiptoe. I believe it comes of all the fleeing I do, it's hardened up my feet. I was fleeing 100 miles a 1 week in the run up to the racing. I never mind I would do the racing as I've heard it's total torment but it's nice to set oneself a problem since it's breathtaking so I introduced. I begun thought I could perhaps win and it was breathtaking while it rotated in a racing and Eugenie was pursued me for 40 miles. A man was as well pop up on the year expressive me hour break times, that done it very breathtaking and while Eugenie was incoming one of the checkpoints and I was outgoing I believe it ruined his moral condition. Competitive environment include 1 week to full the exhausting racing, that wandering above rolling area and relating 43,000 FOOT of ascent, more than rather than Everest at 29,000 FOOT. The Spinal Racing 2013 victor, Eugenio Rossello single, was constrained to shove his disaster key 6 kilometers up the late, that removed him of the racing following proper unhealthy of sleeping privation. For the completeness of the racing, Mrs. Paris just slept for 3 several hours. She told how by the recent date, she was hallucinating on the chapiots. I saw a pig in the heath, trees stretch and making a night exercise in the woods, workmen making stretches, a building emerging and I was really common cold down there is not lot of a convenience area among a bad position and an okay position and I was aware I was enterprising my framework but I a warehouse which happens. It was the tough racing I've made due to the sum of period and weather wisdom, but I'm very lucky since I gave it my top shooting. I raced difficult and gave it the top I could. It's been a lifetime confirming expertise and it will get me a pair of weeks to restore of the force and price it took. Mrs. Paris did the racing for a 1 week long breakdown of written her PhD dissertation, that she must brush in by the end of March. Lee Proctor, Innov 8 envoy crew officer, told, all of us there at Innov 8 are so proud of Jasmin. She is not a vocational, complete-time sportsman, but instead of a downward-to-earth, humble mother of one in an unbelievable ability and extraordinary force, both of constructively and mental, which she has reached in the racing in beaten everyone of both of sexes and installation a new common year recording is one of the big stories in the story of ultra running as a kind of sports. Scott Gilmore, the Mountainous Spinal Racing CEO, as well told it was an unbelievable deed. He told, never undervalue a rival if it's a man or a female. It's the man's devotion and relation how drives results. Paris is a car, so the outcome is not a surprise party to us, but which is shiny is she transferred all how waiting and blood pressure on her shoulders. She never got frustrated and was labed-like all the way to the late. He added, this 4-person's day recording of 95 several hours was very hard and we didn't believe it was probable to hit it due to sleeping corruption, it's unbelievable. She completely prompted the step of the racing, it's an unbelievable deed. She's such a drawing chief and such a defend, and she will instill other